Hello, lovely. We are now on day 10 of looking at Atomic Habits with James Clear. So it's quite a hefty book. So we've got several days to go. Um, but just a little reminder about why we're doing this or why I'm interested in doing this. So, as you know, I'm a coach and I work with people who are always looking um, to make changes in their life. Now, to make changes in your life requires new habits, almost inevitably. I can't think of any situation where that might not be the case. So, for example, if you are coming to work with me on my Missions Accepted program, which is for Gen X women who are looking to make a change in their career, perhaps set up their own business, perhaps set up their own charity, or maybe even just do some smaller mission alongside their current work, but something that feels like meaningful to them. It feels like it's going to have an impact and make a change in the world. That's what Missions Accepted is about. And the first thing that we need to do as part of Missions Accepted is people need to take the habit of spending time on themselves, on journaling, on visualizing, on digging deep into what it is that makes them tick. And you would not be surprised, but people actually find that very challenging. So you can sign up, you can pay the money, you can join the group, you can come along. But if you don't do the work, if you don't give yourself that space and time, it's very difficult to move forward. So that requires creating a habit. And that's why I am spending so much time on this, because I want you to be able to build in those habits that allow you to move forward. All right. So day 10, and we're on the chapter. We're still on the second law. So there's 4 laws to making habits happen and stick. And the second law is about making it attractive to do your habits. So here, what Clear discusses in chapter 10 is about this ancient human need we have to belong, right? We have this need because our very survival used to depend on it. We needed to belong to the tribe. If we didn't, we couldn't look after ourselves most of the time. So that is something we still carry with us, and it shows up in so many parts of our day-to-day life. Part of belonging is that we tend to kind of follow the scripts of friends, family, community, society. We know what's acceptable, and we try to do what is acceptable because we don't want to be thrown out of the tribe. And a lot of those things we do without even thinking, right? We wear clothes most of the time when we walk down the street because that is what is accepted in our community. We don't necessarily, making a conscious decision to do that any day. I can't speak for everyone, but that's generally what we do. So we particularly tend to mimic or follow the direction set by the close, the many, and the powerful. This is what James Clear tells us in the book. So let's look at those one at a time. The close. We pick up the habits of the people around us. It might be our family, it might be our co-workers, our friends. And the closer we are to them, the more likely we will imitate their habits. So if you happen to have a lot of friends who like to go out partying every night, chances are you're going to do something similar, because otherwise that's what they see as an acceptable way of doing things. So if we want to do something different in our life, then we might need to change some of the people that we are close to. You might need to join a culture where your desired behavior is considered the normal behavior. So it's so much easier for you. If you want to become someone who's super fit and a runner, if you join a running club, then you are where it's perfectly normal to go out every day for a run, as opposed to maybe your own household where nobody does any exercise, then it's going to be easier for you. It's going to make the habit more attractive because you're seeing people do it every day. It does help too if you have something in common with those people. So in the book, James Clear talks about someone who set up a gym called Nerd Fitness. And so it was a gym, obviously for people to get fit, but it was particularly designed for people who, he called them nerds. Not sure if that's a term that people would like to be known as, but people who are very much into technology. So not necessarily your fun-loving nature types. It might have been someone who's very into figuring out how things work and technology. And because there were other nerds there, people felt more comfortable going. So if you can find somewhere that really fits who you are, but includes the behavior that you want to do more of, then you've kind of sorted yourself a little bit in helping make that more attractive. So that's the close. Then there's the many. So something to recognize again about human behavior, that when we're not quite sure how to act, we tend to look to the group to guide our behavior. We are constantly scanning to see what everyone else is doing. So to know that if what we're doing is not an acceptable thing to do. So most of the time, and they've done lots of tests to demonstrate this, people will go against their own instincts or go against what they think is right if they notice that everyone else thinks the other thing is right. So it's just being aware that if the habit that you want to do is not seen as an acceptable thing to do by the crowd or the people around you, it's going to be less attractive and it's going to make it harder for you to do it. Doesn't make it wrong, but it might make it more challenging, and it's something you'll need to be aware of. And the other thing is the powerful. So humans naturally pursue power, prestige, and status. And again, we have ancient reasons for this. The more power you had, the more access you had to resources. If you're a man, it made you a more attractive mate because you could provide for somebody better. So just, I guess, I think it's probably less of a thing, but if a behavior or a habit gets us approval, respect, and praise, we find it more attractive. So, maybe if it's a habit where you get to the top of a scoreboard and you get some praise and you get some prestige, well, that's going to make you feel good and it's going to make you do it more. I mean, Olympic athletes, very topical right now. So it's going to be much easier to go out and swim in the pool every morning if at the end of that you think you might get a gold medal and get some prestige and all those things that go with it. So considering all the things from that chapter, what are the practical steps that you might want to take? And I'm going to use the example of someone who is trying to figure out what their next role is, their next job is, if they want to make a change of direction. You're going to need to surround yourself with people who are already doing it. That will make it so much easier for you to journal in the mornings or spend some time once a week working on exercises and vision boards. If you are in a group where this is what is normal behavior. So, obviously Missions Accepted is my group where this happens. So if you are looking for some sort of organization, then please send me a DM. We can talk about how that works. But if you are still at work and you are surrounded by people who are very institutionalized, who think you would be crazy to leave your job or make it, even look into doing something different, then it's going to be much harder for you to do it without having some sort of tribe around you who understands what it is that you're trying to do and does the same work themselves and has those habits. The other thing you can do is to follow people on social media who are doing what you want to be doing. So reading about people who've managed to start new businesses or create new organizations or find a different job, again, that will inspire you and help make it easier for you to do the thing. So I posted a story on LinkedIn today, which was a story of a school teacher who was really struggling with school. She'd done it for many, many years and the whole structure of the school. And she made the decision to leave and set up this fabulous science, basically science events for children, for children's parties and to go to schools to do, which is very exciting, lots of experiments and the kids all love it. So she gets to do what she loves, which is teaching kids about science, but she doesn't have to do everything involved with the school. So that's a story that I've shared on social media. So if you're following me, for example, you'll see lots of stories like that, but following other people who've taken a risk and done something different, that would help again for you to feel that it's possible, that there are people in the tribe who've gone out and done something different. So whatever habit it is that you want to put into place, those are two things. Join some sort of organization, surround yourself with people who are already doing it, and also use social media. It's a magnificent resource if used properly to inspire you to be doing those things as well. So there you go. That is session 10 of the book, Atomic Habits, and we'll go through another couple this week as well. So watch out for those.